All right. So we are having some difficulty with the sound, and I'm trying to do a mic check. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me, give a thumbs up. All right. So we've got sound. Okay. All right. So we've got sound. Let me turn it down. So I was jamming this morning, and we just StreamYard had some audio issues, but we are back. All right. So do you want to get into the news, or we spent an hour. So let me see if I can just pull this up. Maybe for 15 minutes. Okay. There he is. So this suspect, he comes from wealth. Let me just cut it all together. He comes from wealth. It said suspected CEO killer is a scion of wealthy Baltimore family. By the way, he had back surgery last year. Okay. He's had some issues that I've been reading about. Let's see. Hang on. Yes, so reports indicate that Luigi Mangione underwent back surgery in 2023 to address chronic back pain. Following the surgery, he reportedly experienced significant physical and psychological challenges, leading to a period where he lost contact with family and friends. And it's coming out now that he used to keep, maintain his social media. And after that, he just dropped from, contact with friends. One friend had said he had tried to get in touch with him in October, people trying to get in touch with him, and he disappeared. I wonder if the pain was that much. Well, back pain is serious. Back pain and back surgery is not a game. A lot of people, and I've been in back surgery and I've witnessed it. It is, it's a very, very invasive surgery. And when they open up your, back and see your spine, and they putting, plates and screws and all of that metal in your back, it takes a long time to even heal from back surgery. Okay. So Junebug says, I wonder what health insurance he had. Any word? I don't know, but I would imagine they are really going to look into this, because if that would be a theory that is developed, let's just go down that road for just a moment. In theory, he had back surgery. He's 26, 25 years old. He looks at his life. Again, this is fair use commentary. This is simply a theory, a what if, because we know he had back surgery. I'm reading about this. If he had complications after back surgery that left him in so much pain, psychologically, he could have been looking at a number of drugs that he would have taken. I know that for a fact. Painkillers. Again, if he was being seen by his orthopedic surgeon, follow up, and he was continuing to have nagging pain, he may have had to go to a pain manager, a doctor that specializes in administering and seeing patients who have incredible amounts of pain. And we're talking about narcotics, all right? I have been in a pain clinic, and you would have to see a pain specialist if you are going to be managed with pain for long term, for serious pain, to get the kind of prescriptions so that when they look, and when I'm saying look, the medical board, when they look at what you're prescribing on a monthly basis, because all doctors get it's like a scorecard each month. They track us and the kind of drugs that you are prescribing. And if you are just, let's say, a family practice doctor, and they see that you're prescribing a lot of narcotics, they're like, wow, you're in family medicine, that really should, a certain level. I mean, all doctors can prescribe, right? If they have the license, if they have a drug, depending on the level of drug prescribing that they can do. But you don't go to your family practice doctor to, get long-term management for pain unless, you get referred out. So if I were seeing someone and they had this as a problem, they would get a referral to a specialist who can treat them And in there are a lot of people that suffer with back pain and have undergone surgery. And the recovery, I know people right now that can and have become addicted to pain medication because it's so difficult to deal with. Mhm. And if a person has chronic pain and they are this young, he may have looked, again, this is just simply in theory, he may have looked out at his life and said, do I have to go on like this for the rest of my life? You know? Or he could be treated by a psychiatrist, a psychologist. You just don't know. I don't know. I'm not his doctor. I don't know what follow up care he's had. I don't know what pain medications, um, any psychotropic drugs, any of that. He may have been seeing someone because if he was dealing, psychologically with any type of, depression or anything, again, this is all just in general. I don't know, Luigi. I don't know. I'm just like you, but I'm learning that he had back surgery and I know what's involved and I know how patients have suffered and have had to go for repeat surgeries. You know, when they open up your back and you think things are well, and then you go on and then the pain continues, you might go back to the surgeon and he'll say, we need to go back in. And there's always a risk. And as a patient, you have to weigh that. Also, your health insurance. Will your health insurance continue to pay for, additional uh, back surgery, treatments, whatever, depending on the type of care that you need? So, back pain, chronic illness, it can go on for years and years and years and years and may never fully improve. And you need your back and you need your spine to, to walk correctly, to have your balance, to just feel well. Who wants to be addicted to pain medication, to any kind of medication? But I'm talking about an addiction. And pain medication, some of it is very addictive. Mhm. Okay, so that was just a little bit of, what if, knowing that this Luigi suffered from back pain. All right. So let's see how we want to cover this real quick. What are the latest details? I'm having to set my um, news back up. So we'll just go with this one. Suspected killer, CEO killer, is a scion of wealthy Baltimore family. What is the latest? United Healthcare CEO shooting suspect Luigi Mangione charged with murder. The suspect in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has been charged with murder in New York and is facing four other charges, including one count of forgery, a document, and criminally possessing a firearm online. As a matter of fact, since we had that long delay, I believe, you see, I had or have this police criminal complaint charges. So let me just We'll go over this here in just a moment. Mangione was arrested on a gun charge after being picked up while eating at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, following a call to police by an employee. The NYPD chief of detectives said. According to officials, the 26-year-old had multiple fake IDs, a 3D printed gun with a suppressor. Altoona police said when officers asked Mangione if he had been to New York recently, he became visibly nervous and started kind of shaking. Mangione was ordered held without bail and did not enter a plea in his first court appearance Monday. That was in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. He is being held in a single jail cell or in a single cell at the maximum custody level. This is at a prison, not jail, at a prison in the state, according to Department of Corrections. 47 minutes ago, I'll just hit one or two. McDonald's regular says he joked with his friends that Mangione looked like the suspected shooter. So there was someone who was joking. An Altoona man who frequents the McDonald's that Luigi Mangione was arrested at on Monday says he and his friends saw the suspected shooter before the arrest was made. The regular, who identified himself as Larry, told CNN he got to McDonald's around 6 a.m. on Monday, but he and his friends noticed Mangione walk in somewhere around 8 a.m. It started out almost like a joke. My one friend thought he looked like the shooter, Larry said. He probably heard us, he added. That surprised me. He stayed there as long as he did. Larry said he wasn't paying much attention to Mangione, but noticed he was sitting about 10 feet away from him toward the back of the restaurant. He had on a mask, a hood, a backpack, from what my buddy told me. He saw him better than I did, actually, he said. Larry said he left before the arrest took place, but later went back to the McDonald's after hearing the news. He said he spoke to some of the employees who said they recognized Mangione. From what I was told, he says, the worker that took his order said his eyes and his eyebrows, she just thought it was him. He noted that after ordering, Mangione sat in the back and stayed there. I walked past him when I left, Larry said. It's unbelievable. I still can't hardly believe it's real, you know? Let's see what else. NYPD intelligence report. CEO shooting suspect appeared to view targeted killing as a symbolic takedown. What does that mean? According to this report, the suspect in the shooting appeared to be driven by anger against the health insurance industry and against corporate greed as a whole, according to an NYPD intelligence report obtained by CNN. He appeared to view the targeted killing of the company's highest ranking representative as a symbolic takedown and a direct challenge to its alleged corruption and power games, asserting in his note he is the first to face it with such brutal honesty. This, according to an assessment based on Luigi Mangione's manifesto and social media. The 3-page handwritten document was found on the 26-year-old when he was taken into custody on Monday, police officials said at a news conference after the arrest. In the intelligence report, the NYPD also noted the positive online reaction to Thompson's killing. This rhetoric may signal an elevated threat facing executives in the near term, with the shooting itself having capability to inspire a variety of extremist and grievance driven malicious actors to violence, the report leads. So now I know I'm trying to go a little, fast as I can, read and make it make sense. Let's see. Let me read a few of your comments and then I'm going to go over this police criminal complaint. I can see all of you out there. We are on X. Let me go ahead and make Facebook Live. Okay. And welcome back. Thank you for your patience. We have more of you on X this. Is it still morning? It is. All right, so this is from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, County of 07 Blair. Police criminal complaint in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Luigi Nicholas, his middle name, last name Mangione, as the defendant. All right. Here's the address, telephone number. Some of it I won't read. This was filed on yesterday with an incident number 2024-29-13-3 or 133. So let's see. His date of birth. He was born May 6, 1998, male. Let's see, Pennsylvania. His race is white, non-Hispanic. Let's go over this. He's 170 pounds. He's 5 feet 11 inches. Okay, it was signed by an attorney in the Commonwealth. Okay, I'm just scanning. All right. So this first one, statute description, including the name of the statute or ordinance. The first one is forgery. Acts of accused associated with his offense, 184101A3, forgery, F2, 1 count. Offense defined. A person is guilty of forgery if, with intent to defraud or injure anyone, or with knowledge that he is facilitating a fraud or injury to be perpetrated by anyone, the actor. 3, utters any writing which he knows to be forged in a manner specified in paragraphs 1 or 2 of this subsection. All right, so we have an offense, the attempt, conspiracy. They have specific codes. Let me go. The next one. Statute description includes the name of the statute or ordinance. Firearms not to be carried without a license. Act of the accused associated with this offense. It gives the name, number, firearms not to be carried without a license. 1 count. Offense defined. Except as provided in paragraph 2, any person who carries a firearm in any vehicle or any person who carries a firearm concealed on or about his person except in his place of abode or fixed place of business without a valid or lawfully issued license under this chapter commits a felony of the 3rd degree. Okay. Again, it gives some codes there. The next one, statute description, include the name of the statute or ordinance. Tampering with records or identification. Acts of the accused associated with his offense. Tampering with records or identification. That's 184104A, M1, 1 count. A, writings. A person commits a misdemeanor of the 1st degree if, knowing that he has no privilege to do so, he falsifies, destroys, removes, or conceals any writing or record or distinguishing mark or brand or other identification with intent to deceive or injure anyone or to conceal any wrongdoing. The acts committed by the accused are described below, with each act of assembly or statute allegedly violated if appropriate. When there is more than one offense, each offense should be numbered chronologically. Okay, so we have four. Statute description, including the name of the statute of ordinance. Possessing instruments of crime, act of the accused associated with this defense. 18907A, possessing instruments of crime. M1, one count. A, criminal instruments generally. A person commits a misdemeanor of the first degree if he possesses any instrument of crime with intent to employ it criminally. Number 5, in these sections, statute description, include the name of the statute or ordinance. False identification to law enforcement authorities. Act of the accused associated with this offense. 184914A, false identification to law enforcement authorities. M3, one count. A, offense defined. Offense defined. A person commits an offense if he furnishes law enforcement authorities with false information about his identity after being informed by a law enforcement officer who is in uniform or who has identified himself as a law enforcement officer that the person is the subject of an official investigation of a violation of the law. And this would have come when he was at the McDonald's, when the officers approached him, asked him to remove his mask, and then Luigi gave them a false driver's license from New Jersey. It was fraud. Okay. And later, he would say, Luigi Mangione would say, "That's not my name," and he gave him his real name. So, offense number 5, offense description continuation, to wit. Let's see how far this goes. I think that's it. So we'll read this one. Again, my apologies. We were on for almost an hour with no sound. To wit, on the aforementioned date and time, on December 9th, 2024, at 9:14 hours, affiant, PTLM, Fry, co-affiant, PTLM. I think that is detailing the names for the police officers or their badge, with Altoona Police Department, were dispatched to 407 East Plank Road, Altoona, for a suspicious male who resembled the male from a recent shooting in New York from December 4th. Officers were advised in the dispatch notes that the male was wearing a medical mask and a beanie. Upon arrival, officers were able to locate male matching the aforementioned description sitting in the rear of the building at a table. He was wearing a blue medical mask and was looking at a silver laptop computer that was placed on the table. The male also had a backpack on the floor near the table he was sitting at. Co-affiant made contact with the male and informed the officers were called to McDonald's for a suspicious male matching his description. He asked the male to pull down his medical mask so he could see face. The male complied and pulled down his mask. Affiant and coaffiant immediately recognized him as the suspect from New York City incident after seeing photos released of him from media sources. They asked the male for identification and provided officers a New Jersey driver's license bearing the name Mark Rosario and a date of birth 7/21, 1998. Affiant took the license and ran the information through the dispatch center. Coaffiant asked the male if he had been to New York recently, and the male became quiet and started to shake. Additional units from the Altoona Police Department arrived on the scene to assist both in identifying the male. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. At this time, dispatch was unable to find any information on NCIC with the information provided by officers. Lieutenant Hanley arrived on the scene and also ran the information the male provided to officers, but still found that no record was able to be found. The male was advised that he was under an official police investigation, and if he lied out his identity, he would get arrested. The male then stated that his name was the defendant, Luigi Mangione, with a date of birth May 6, 1998. The driver's license that the defendant provided to officers was found to be a fake identification card. Fox asked defendant why he lied out his name, and the defendant replied, "I clearly shouldn't have." Lieutenant Hanley then instructed officers to place the defendant into custody for a 4101A3 forgery and a 4914A false identification to law enforcement. The defendant was placed into custody. The defendant was handcuffed and was searched on scene. The defendant was then transported back to Altoona Police Department's station, where his property was inventoried pursuant to Altoona Police Department's policy. During a search of the defendant's backpack, officers located a black 3D printed pistol and a black silencer. The pistol had a metal slide and a plastic handle with a metal threaded barrel. The pistol had one loaded Glock magazine with 6 9mm full metal jacket rounds. There were also one loose 9mm hollow point round. The silencer was also 3D printed. And you know what? I was not familiar with ghost guns. So I had someone explain it to me earlier this morning because I wondered how could this be, printed. When I'm thinking printed, I'm thinking paper comes out of a printer. So what did they really mean? So with technology, 3D printing can actually provide like plastics in a 3D model of objects. And then it's printed out and he can put it together along with whatever other metal or objects that is required to put together the full weapon. Vicky Black says he was set and loaded. Well, he was. He was. He had the gun, the silencer. He had ammunition. Yes. Vicky says, thanks for explaining information. We can do some more at some, point in time when I can take my time and do it. The defendant will need to be fingerprinted and photographed. The last page, well, 5 of the police criminal complaint. 2, I asked that a warrant of arrest or summons be issued and that the defendant be required to answer the charges I have made. 3, I verified that the facts set forth in this complaint are true and correct to the best of my knowledge or information and belief. This verification is made subject to the penalties of Section 4904 of Crimes Code 18 PA CS 4904 relating to unsworn falsification to authorities. 4. This complaint consists of the preceding pages numbered 1 through 4. 5. I certify that this filing complies with the provisions of the Case Records Public Access Policy of the United Judicial System of Pennsylvania that require filing confidential information and documents differently than non confidential information and documents. The act committed by the accused, as listed and hereafter, were against the peace and dignity of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and were contrary to the acts of the Assembly or in violation of the status cited. Before a warrant of arrest can be issued, an affidavit of probable cause must be completed, sworn to before the issuing authority, and attached. It's dated December 9th, 2024, signed. And now, on this date, 9 December 24, I certify that the complaint has been properly completed and verified. An affidavit of probable cause must be completed before a warrant can be issued. The magistrate dated, signed it, issued it. So that was my first time seeing it and reading it. So again, going through it, a lot of little detail, but reading through it quickly. Yeah. There is a lot that's going to be coming out about this killing, about the victim, about the perpetrator, this assailant, alleged Luigi Mangione. What was his background? What was in his mind? What was his motivation? Were more involved than we know. He had on him, I think it was mentioned, more than $8,000 also. So he was not short of funds. He had traveled by bus to New York and he departed by bus. He is in a prison cell right now. I don't know when his next, hearing before the magistrate is going to be, but I'm sure if I look at any breaking news, they are providing updates. So, what do we know so far? Lots of pictures, lots of people making comments, giving stories about the suspect. Okay. What haven't I covered that would be new? Five minutes ago, CEO shooting suspect seen eating a hash brown inside McDonald's where he was captured. There is the picture of him, at McDonald's. Let's see if we can blow it up a little bit. Having hash browns. So he pulled his mask down and is captured on camera. He was sitting in the corner of the restaurant when this photograph was captured at McDonald's. 21 minutes ago, the case against this suspect is super strong. Ex FBI deputy director tells CNN. The case against him right now is really very, very simple, basic, and super strong. McCabe added. Okay. So lots more. Again, suspect appeared to view it as targeted killing, symbolic takedown. How would a 26-year-old, someone with such a promising future and life, being asked possibly commit such a brazen crime? What was going on? Who was he vindicating? What, for whom? Family member? Could it be for himself? Let me read some of your comments again. We are live right now on X, Facebook, and right here on YouTube. Run tell that too. I'm going to start at the bottom. Junebug says, yes, I'm interested in hearing the motive and how he acquired intricate details of victims' movements. Of course, 6 a.m. in the morning, he gets into position. He's been waiting outside for some period. There are other people who have spoken about seeing this man, Luigi, walking back and forth. Mhm. He was laying in wait. And from the direction that the victim, Brian Thompson, came from, it wasn't like it was from in the front. He was coming like down the side of the hotel. How would he know where he would be coming, the direction that he would be coming from? How would he know the time to get in place? How would he know what his target looked like? Let's start there. How did he know what Brian Thompson looked like? Well, it's a public company. He's the CEO. He probably went online and obtained his, picture, photo. But how did he know that he was going to be there for that event and that he would be speaking at the conference that morning? A conference such as that would not have been planned one day ahead. You have many people coming from all across the country for this investors meeting. So he would have been aware if he was traveling to New York in time for the conference, in advance, to get the lay of the land. It was some time that he had been there. Casing the place, knowing. And yes, why him, Vicky Black ask, why him? Why that CEO? Why that company? Why? Did someone in his family, were they one of the insured by United Health Care Insurance, who provides health care insurance for more than 45 million Americans? It is the largest health care insurance provider in this nation. So we are going to learn a whole lot more as all of this comes out. It's so intriguing. It's interesting, every angle that is being developed. He was a smart kid, graduated top of his class, valedictorian in high school, went he was at a private boys school, went to college, received his master's in engineering and math, computers. So, very intelligent. His family had money, had lots of wealth. Mhm. They had country clubs. Mhm. He was one of more than 30 grandchildren. His grandfather was a multimillionaire, worked his way up, purchasing and owning properties, businesses, real estate. Junebug says, I read that his sister is in med school. Oh, she has to be in shock today to know that she's will be associated with him, if not by name, by blood, sister. She's, I'm sure, in shock. She may also have information that might provide some insight. Maybe her and her brother talked about, um, his own medical um, history, seeing that his sister is in medical school. Yeah. He may have, spoken to her about his upcoming back surgery. That's not uncommon to, discuss with your family members what's going on in your life related to any, serious illness or surgery. That would be very common. You can email me at unwindwithteddy@gmail.com. Okay. Let's see who else has joined me. Cheryl. Let's read this comment. Since young people have often struggled to affect corporate change through traditional methods, such as addressing the fossil fuel industry's role in climate change or advocating for health care reform. That must be a carry on from something else. You say, what breaks my heart is that he's brilliant and beautiful, and he apparently believed his actions were a desperate attempt to inspire change. He is from a different generation, that is for sure. His parents have to be in shock. Shock and devastation. What is this about back surgery? Cheryl says, I know someone in their 80s who has undergone repeated back surgeries since a car accident in the early 90s. Tragically, they are now struggling with an addiction to painkillers. That makes sense because It's been ongoing, multiple surgeries, and still the relief not to the point where it's stable. It needs to be managed with painkillers for them to go through the day. If you face chronic pain, it's debilitating, not just physically, emotionally, mentally. It has a direct effect. It does. All right, it is 11:43. I think I can leave it pretty much right here. Let me check my email and see what else might be breaking in the news. So there's a news alert. Trump's DOJ secretly obtained records of his FBI pick, Kash Patel, lawmakers, staffers, and media in leak investigation. The Justice Department secretly obtained phone records from two members of Congress and 43 staffers, including Kash Patel, President elect Donald Trump's pick to lead the FBI during a sweeping leak investigation during Trump's first term. The new report from the Justice Department's Inspector General raises concerns about how the department tried to root out reporters. Sources from a sprawling and bipartisan list of federal employees who had access to classified information because of their job. There's a lot of news. Okay. But we'll have to save some for later. Okay. Again, I appreciate all of you for being very patient this morning and for coming back to join me for this morning's mocha. Biggest bear hug goes out to all of you, my moderators, especially all the mob. Please join me later tonight when I come back for Night Talk. All right, that's going to do it for me. Maybe one or two. I was going to play some Christmas music. No, what I was going to play, there was a request that came in, and I said I would play it. Let me see if I can pull it back up. It came in this morning just before I was to go on. See if I have it.
I think anybody would say that sports and
Hang on.
music are synonymous.
Popcorners. Heard they're the cat's meow.
Of course. It's because they're popped, not fried. Knock yourself out. Bro, I said dress like a cop busting a speakeasy.
I thought you told me it was a sleepeasy.
And that made sense to you?
Wait a minute. All right, so this song is called Find My Way Back. Its artist is named Mumu Fresh. We will go off with this song before our last one. Again, biggest bear hugs go out to you. Please hit the like on your way out. If you have questions, concerns, suggestions, contact me by way of email. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Have a great rest of your morning.
Only getting better, never bitter. Hard times make a real one realer. Might have lost one, but I'm still that winner. Bloody bottom sipping on next killer. I've been to the bottom of the well. I've seen every shadow of myself. I weathered the storm without a sail. That's how I know I can prevail. See, I'm loved loved and lost and learned to love again. And my only regret is I miss my friend, but I gotta find a way back. I will find a way back. I will find a way back. I will. I got to find a way back. I will find a way back. I will find a way back. I will find a way back. I will. I got to find a way. I am an unstoppable force, unsilenceable voice, oh so supple and moist. I am the obvious choice. Thick like butter, make everything better. Thick like leather, drop me in the wilderness, baby, I'm a setter. I'ma own a place while you still play catcher. Never surrender, never let up. I'm just seeking my center, raising up my two antennas. So if I'm lost on the road, I can always phone home. Find a way, my way. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. I got to find a way back, I will. 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 I got to find a way. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. I got to find a way back, I will. 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 I got to find a way. If I stray too far from myself, if I steer too hard to the left, if I swim too far from the shore, I will trust in your love and my soul. In you, find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. I got to find a way back, I will. 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 I got to find a way. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. I got to find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I will. Find a way back, I